Hello and welcome to my shop. In the last few videos I've been doing a tool wall makeover series where I've cleaned up this tool wall, and if you've seen from some of my last videos it was piled pretty full. Well, I've got my hand planes, my chisels and everything put up here like I want it. I still haven't done anything with this blank space, but I didn't want to clutter it back up by hanging a lot of these measuring tools and stuff that I had hanging on this wall before, by hanging them back up there. So in this video I'm going to be building a drawer system to go under my workbench. I had a high school friend who happens to also be a woodworker give me a bunch of particle board, so I'm going to be using that to make my drawer system to go under my workbench as part of my tool wall makeover series. First thing I do is take my track saw and straighten up one edge just by cutting off a thin strip. Now I can run the straight edge along the table saw fence and cut off the pieces to make the drawers. Although the original plan for this was to make 2 drawers, but I had enough room for another one, so after the fact I went back and made a 3rd drawer to go in the bottom. Using a miter sled, I'll cut the pieces by squaring up one end, flipping the board and cutting to length. Now that I have the drawer sides cut out, I can cut the drawer bottoms. I'll be using the same material. I kept the straight side against the fence and made one cut to get enough material to make both drawer bottoms. But I still need to square up one end, so I marked the piece square and use my track saw to cut on my mark. Now I can register that end against my fence and cut to the actual length that I need. I cut the width I needed when I made the first cut. These drawers will be 25 inches wide and 20 inches deep. I'll assemble these drawers using butt joints with glue and brad nails. And the bottom is attached the same way with just glue and brad nails. While the glue dries on those drawers, I'll work on making the frame or casing that houses these drawers. I wanted something with some strength to it, and I got lucky when prowling through my scraps. I found this piece of 3/4 inch oak plywood, which was large enough. I squared up both ends and then cut it in half. These will make the 2 sides. Then I took a piece of pine and cut it in 2 pieces. These pieces are going to make the top, which will be used to hang the drawer system from under my workbench. This will all start making sense in a minute. I use 2 L brackets per side to attach the sides of the casing to the pine boards. This is like a box that does not have 4 complete sides. So in order for the drawers to work right, I'll have to put this together square as I go. I measure in from the side and place the first bracket. Then, using one of the boards as an edge guide, I'll line up the bracket with the top of the side. Then I pre-drill using a Vicks bit and start attaching the L brackets to the side. Then I cut the pine boards down to a rough length. They will be a little long, but I just work from one end, letting the excess hang out and stick out on one side. Once mounted under the bench, it will never be seen, unless you're crawling around under my bench. Starting at one end, I'll use a square to make sure I stay at 90 to the side piece before attaching this board. Once one side is done, I'll cut 2 spacers at 26 inches. This will allow me room for the drawer and the slides. Now this is the make it or break it part. In order for the drawers to slide in and out correctly, the 2 sides have to be parallel to each other and square to each other. I don't want the drawers only to shut halfway, and I don't want one side of the drawers to bottom out in the track and the other side of the drawer still outside of the casing when it's completely closed. Once I had everything like I wanted, then I anchored it down. Then, using those same spacers, I'll set the distance at the bottom of the box, and I'll anchor those in place with just one screw. I said to the bottom because this thing is upside down on my bench. Using a spacer, I'll attach the drawer slides. You have probably seen this done thousands of times, so let's go do something you've never seen. Sanding. Oh, you've seen that already? Well, let's add the drawer slides to the drawers. I'll show you how I do those, especially when it's shop furniture and precision to the nearest thousandths doesn't matter. I'll mark a line center of the drawer on both sides. Line my slide up as close as I can get to center and attach. Now these slides are very stiff when putting the drawer in, but once you close the drawer all the way for the first time, then they operate fine. One down and one to go. I just repeat the same process. Next, to add some handles to these drawers. For that, I'll use the Easy Mark jig from Sommerfeld Tools. It gives me perfect placement every time. These handles I'll be using actually came off of another piece of furniture. Everything used in this project and the Tool Wall Makeover series have been scraps and pieces just laying around my shop. Now you see why you shouldn't be crawling in under my bench. It's dirty down there. So let's get dirty. Before getting down there, I started the screws to attach this to the bottom of my bench. These screws are 2.5 inches and my bench is made of 2x4s. So it's about 3 to 3¼ inches thick after the flattening of the bench. I also have a router table built into the end of my bench. So that's that power cord stretched across the top in case you were wondering. Now to add these drawers and fill them up. All this stuff came from my tool wall. It's going to be nice to have things buried deep in these drawers. At least I'll know where to look for whatever it is that I'm looking for. It will just be in the bottom of the drawer. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I know I'm going to enjoy having this stuff off of my work surface back here, scattered all over my benches and everywhere, and the whole wall just completely cluttered up to where I cannot find anything. At least I'll know where to look. Like I also said, I added, when I originally started to build this, I was building it for 2 drawers, and there was a little bit of room. You can see in the video when I first hung it, there's a little bit of room left at the bottom, and I thought, why waste that space? I've still got plenty of scrap material and stuff. Just build another drawer and put it in there. I already had the slides and everything that I needed, except for I did not have a third handle like the first 2. But it's shop furniture, it's serving its purpose. It may not look the best, but it's working for me, and that's all that matters. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, go ahead and invite you to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, thanks for watching.